Bob Ross is one of my favorite artists, and I think it's because he was one of the first artists that I actually ever knew, besides my mom. Before Taekwondo on Saturday mornings, I would watch him on PBS, and he had this Zen-like quality that sort of smoothed me out in preparation for being kicked and punched and throttled. And when I was sick, in between episodes of the Andy Griffith Show, I would lay in bed and watch Bob, and he would coo about happy clouds and happy trees. Before I left Florida, I visited Bob's grave. I actually visited it twice at Woodlawn Cemetery. And now that I'm here in New York, this video is largely a matter of nostalgia. Bob died in 1984 of cancer, and I was born in 1982. So I realized that the entire time I was painting with Bob on TV, I was actually painting with a ghost. Anyway, this is largely dedicated to Bob and to all people out there who sort of make the world a better place by being creative. All right, let's get started. I'm using Bob's colors, and they're going to go ahead and scroll on the screen like they do in his videos for you right now. And I'm also using his tools and his brushes. So I'm going to start with a filbert brush. And I'm going to get a little bit of titanium white. I'm going to mix it with just a tiny, tiny amount of Van Dyke brown. And tiny, tiny amount of alizarin crimson. Maybe a little more brown. I'm looking for a cream color, like skin. Looks pretty good. Maybe a little more white. I'm going to start very simply by just making sort of like an oval shape in the canvas, maybe like a diamond. So let's see, I think I'll start right here. It helps to make noises, as Bob says. That looks pretty good. Maybe like an upside down egg. All right, now I'm going to go back. I'm going to mix the same color but a little bit darker. So a little more red and a little more brown. I don't know, this is sort of like a dusty rose color. I'm just loading the brush by pulling one way and then the other, one way and the other. I have a nice point, and I'm going to make these little sideways commas. One here, and one here. And I'm going to go ahead, get some more paint, and go down the side. Clean the brush and just sort of blend by drawing the brush right on that edge without moving it side to side, just pulling it straight across. Perfect. Now you don't know it, but you've already got the head started. In fact, you've got it pretty much done. The rest is just a matter of detail. So I'm going to go ahead and actually drop in the eyes. I feel like you can't really do a portrait unless you have those eyes staring back at you and you can respond to them and have a connection with them. So let's go ahead and start with those. I'm going to load up my liner brush with a lot of paint thinner. I'm just going to get a pure streak of Van Dyke brown. And I'm rolling my brush sideways and spinning it and getting a nice point. And I'm just going to drop in an eye here, and an eye here. And Bob's an older man, so I'm going to go ahead and give him some wrinkles. And this is a place where it's really good to be kind of nervous. Get those wiggles in. They add so much character. Maybe some eyebrows. Alright. Now, a picture of Bob almost has to start with his afro, his trademark. So I'm going to actually use his bush making technique to make his afro. And it's really simple. You just load up a filbert brush with a lot of Van Dyke Brown. And then just pounce or tap. I'm going to start with the part I know, which is around his head. Maybe right under where his ears would be. I'm going to sort of branch outward. I don't know, let's see. About like that. And I'm picking up some paint, and I'm actually using it to give him a bit of form. This lighter paint that's at the tip of the brush is coming in and making all of these little effects that look like they took a long time to blend and to manage, but in actuality only were actually, accidents. I'm going to go over some of that light stuff with some dark paint again and create a sense of form, lightness to darkness. And while I still have a little bit on my brush, but not a whole lot, I'm going to go down the side of the face and make his beard. Just lightly, tapping. And then up, and then down. And again, I get all these effects just by picking up the paint that was beneath it. Alright, this is looking really good. So I think it's time to go ahead and start on the shirt. Cleaning out my brush. And I'm leaving a little bit of brown in it because I want like a dark blue. Well, I want a dark light blue, so actually I want like a grayed down blue. And brown is a good color for graying down colors. So I'm mixing up some titanium white and the tiniest little touches of Prussian blue. Let's see. I actually need a lot more than that because I'm going to use Bob's mountain technique in a second. So I want to have a lot of texture on this shirt. So I'm getting a big old glob of paint. That's a good blue, sort of like a sky blue. Or a robin's egg blue. Okay, and I'm just going to drop in maybe Bob's shoulder. So I'm going to go around and down. And I feel like his arm is going to come down. He's going to slightly come up because he's going to be making that painting like we are. So I'm just sort of painting that arm. And you can really experiment here. And there's a secret that I'm going to show you later, which is where, because we have the black background with black gesso, we can actually come back and redo these entire contours and even clean up little fingerprints that we might make by touching them up with the midnight black. So if you make a blob instead of a bob, it's okay. You can clean it up later. Or you can let it be if that's what you want. Alright. Looking good.